about leveraging, okay? And it's an important concept if you want to do business. And it's something you really want to know by your heart. So I'm going to talk about that. Come on. Why? There you go. All right. So I'm going to talk about what is leveraging. Okay. And I'm going to talk about 6 different ways to gain leverage. Okay. Then I'm going to talk about a combination. And I'm going to talk about be careful what you wish for. And then we'll go into Q&A. Right, so what is leverage? Leverage is that. It's very simple. If you want to lift a heavy object with small force, you create a leverage. You step on it, and you have a huge impact, right? And you use this concept everywhere. Let's say you're nailing something, use hammer. That's a leverage, right? So you don't even realize, but it's all over life. And then it used to be just tools, but it's everywhere now as a concept. So then, what's there? There are 6 different ways to gain leverage. One is tools, okay? And the other one's labor, that one's money, that one's media, and then internet and code. So I'll go one by one. Tools. For example, axe. Imagine you are like living in hunter-gatherer society still, like trying to get an animal or trying to knock down a tree or something. You need tools, otherwise you really have to like use your hands, and that would be hard, right? Or you want to dig a hole in the ground. If you're using hands, that's a lot of work. But if you have a shovel, that would help, right? So these are the tools that would would allow us to gain leverage, right? So a bicycle is a good one, for example. If you walk, you can only walk so far, but if you get a bicycle, you can ride very far with so little effort. And eventually you invented things like cars. So you just step on the gas and there you go, right? Or then calculators and computers and so on and so on. So tools are great. It gave us great leverage. Now, labor is another one. So let's say I want to dig a hole all by myself. That's a lot of work. But then I can say, hey, come here guys, and start digging. Same hole can be dug in maybe like less than 1/10 of the time or whatever. Or maybe I can create a mountain, anything really. And then most of the companies hire a lot of people to get a job done because you can gain leverage. However, it's got its cons, and one of it is managing human beings is very messy. Very, very messy. When you have more and more employees, the politics starts. And so every company has internal politics and the gossips and this and that, and people get stressed out, quit, what have you. Training needs to be provided. Everything, using people is very messy. Very messy. It takes a lot of effort. And you know why? Because human beings are messy. That's why. Money is another good way to get leverage. For example, if you have a lot of money, you can hire people and then turn that into labor. Or you can then buy a car and gain leverage that way. So it can become different ways to gain leverage. So that's great. Or maybe you can buy a property and then the price of the property goes up, you sell when it's high, and then you gain leverage. Or you buy stocks, and then when it's high, you sell, there you go. Or you just store it in the bank, and it earns interest. So that's also leverage. So that money actually creates money for you without any effort. So that's a leverage. However, it's very difficult to get the money in the first place. You can either borrow or earn. Either way, it's hard. If you talk very well, maybe you can convince investors to invest in you. Right? So that's one way. Another one is just you work for many hours and make first capital. Likewise, a lot of effort. You know, like if you have like interesting ideas, maybe you can just get investors to invest in you. So it takes a lot. Media. So you can also use things like TVs, radio, newspapers, and magazines. Okay? And it can reach masses of people. So that's great. But there are some cons, and those are difficult ones too. First, media itself has its agenda. They have stories that they want to tell. So you may want to broadcast something, but they want to broadcast something else too. So you don't always get to say what you really want. They pretty much dictate what it's going to be about. I've been on a TV, they even tell you, this is what I want you to say. How crazy is that? So you really can't say what you want. And then if you say it, you'll never be invited again. And you also need permission, basically. Right? Who decides who's going to be in TV? TV companies. Broadcasters decide who's going to be in TV. Unless, if you're the government, and then you have a lot of control over it. So unless if you're rich already, or in a government, you really can't leverage off of mass media. Okay. But there came internet. It's for everybody. So now you can dictate what you want to say. No one's telling you what to create. So if you want to create a YouTube video and do something stupid, that's great, that's your call, right? Or you can, whatever, really. I have some YouTube content as well. I have some silly ones and I have some meaningful ones as well. But you decide what you want to put out. And you can reach anybody, anytime, anywhere. If I want to reach somebody in Brazil, it's possible. Right? And then internet is just not homepage. It can be email, it can be chat, it can be social media, it can be anything. So anywhere, any place, anytime. And let's say I'm gonna put a blog post at say 9 a.m. The people may be reading at 2 in the morning. Doesn't matter, right? So it's convenient, but it has its downside. There are almost too much content, and it's very difficult to be discovered in the first place. So yeah, it's a good tool, but to gain influence, it takes quite a bit of work. But another great thing is that you don't need permission from anyone. You can just put out. Right. Last one, and this is the greatest invention of all. Code. Right? It works 24/7. So let's say I create a web service. Right? People use it 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 11 in the morning, or 4 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter, and you don't need to be there. Imagine taking orders 24/7 just with humans. That would be terrible. People have to stay up all night to take orders, right? But now, you just put out a web service, you're done, you can go to bed. And the service keep making money for you when you're sleeping. How awesome is that? A lot of people play like games, You create one copy, right? And it doesn't matter whether you create 1 copy or 2 million copies, it costs the same. How crazy is that, right? So like maybe you write an ebook, there's no printing cost, you post somewhere, sale, done. And then big companies today, the great companies today, Amazon. Code. Did their advertisement follow you? It's all code, right? Or Facebook, it's all code, right? And Google, it's entirely code. So coding is the greatest invention of all. Now, you can combine them, like internet and code. They go hand in hand, really great, right? So you can have a web service, you can have downloadable app, and or things like Grab or Uber. It's actually combined a labor, right? The drivers, and then internet service, and then also a tool for smartphone as a tool. And then you combine code. So it combined various leveraging tools, and it become really effective. So how you want to combine is your call. It's different from business to business, but you really want to take advantage of it. And I would say that you want to take advantage of internet and code because for some reason most of the Japanese companies are not very good at taking advantage of those two. Most of the businesses are still old-fashioned. They create tools and then try to sell at shops, like a physical shops. That's very outdated. How are you gonna sell washing machine 2 in the morning? You can't unless if you use internet. Who owns internet shopping? Amazon. Sorry. Japanese companies could have done better and should do better. However, you want to make sure what you're shooting out. Okay? Suppose I go into a store, steal something, and I take a video of it, and you go, yay, I just stole a sneaker or whatever, and that will go viral. I lose my reputation, and my business is finished, right? There was this high school or university kids who were working in 7-Eleven or someplace. There's some crazy stuff, and the store was ruined and lost business. Or there was some guy who was working at the laundromat, got into a laundry machine and washing themselves and crazy stuff like that. And the business was lost. So because it's such a great leveraging tool, you want to be sure you are leveraging the right content, right? If you projectile wrong content too late, okay, so be careful what you wish for. You might actually get it. So in summary, I would say use internet and code. Those are the two new leveraging tools. Media dying down, as you know, right? Like, I don't read magazines anymore. Only the time I read magazines is when I go to barber shop and I have to wait. Other times, I don't read magazines anymore. So it's not as effective as it used to be. I don't watch TV at all. The internet is more fun. I watch YouTube videos all the time, but I don't watch TV anymore, right? And money, if you're young, it's hard to get. But the internet, you got no problem. Code, you can just write. You can stay up all night and just keep on typing. It's a lot of fun. Issei can teach you, right? Okay. So start if you're young, start coding. I'm serious. Start using internet. And even if you're old, still you can gain so much from using internet and code. Find someone who can code for you and get some tools out there that can make some money for you. Okay? Alright, so that concludes my presentation. And I'll take any questions now. I'll say 3. Anybody? Any questions? Go ahead.
So if you could advise to younger self about younger self, what would you say about business?
Business is oh God, that's a good question. Business is hard, actually. It's very hard. you really have to be flexible. Okay? You think of an idea, you try, it doesn't work very often. Or it works for a while and it falls. It happens all the time. So you need to be flexible and creative to get around the issues. That's something you need. It doesn't go like textbooks. It's just not. So you need to be flexible. Also, you need to really grind your time, and you really have to put a lot of effort. You have to be willing to work so hard. Seriously, I work so hard. Sometimes it gets nowhere, but I still try. I sleep 5, 6 hours tops. Okay? I work probably like, I don't know, 12 hours a day, maybe. If not longer. So that's my day. And then my employees wonder if I ever sleep. It's like 5 p.m. Philippine time, 4 a.m. in California. I still answer emails, and they're like, are you sleeping at all? That's kind of what it takes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions? Go ahead.
What is your big and success leverage in your life?
Say it again?
What is your big and success leverage in your life?
I would say like Twitter has been really great leveraging tool. I can just tweet about whatever. Like for example, a lot of my customers found Brighter through Twitter. And internet in general, I don't even put out any advertisement. It's all through internet. So that's huge. Right? And let's see, my wife also. She's like, work harder. yeah. So I'm like this projectile. yeah, that too. So she's the one who's utilizing me rather, but it's okay. I don't mind. Yeah. So that's that. You're a wife too, probably. Okay, one more question. Anything? Go ahead.
So aside from internet and cloud, what do you think the next next generation level 2?
Oh God, that's a hard question. It really is a hard question. Actually, what Issa presented, brain machine interface, it can be something seriously. Another thing I'm thinking is, over time, I think we will only either be speaking English or Chinese seriously. Because, so Japanese population is shrinking for one, so there are less people speaking Japanese. And about 1.7% of world population speaks Japanese. Only 1.7%. Every year world population grows, Japanese population shrinks. So in like 10, 20 years, probably less than 1% of the population will be speaking Japanese. And that's happening everywhere. And then to gain leverage, everybody studies English or Chinese because so many people speak them. And so over time, I get the feeling that everyone's going to speak either Chinese or English. And that's good and bad, kind of sad that each culture is going to be lost in a way, because language is a culture. But I think that's bound to happen, whether you like it or not. All right, so that concludes my presentation. Thank you.